Hi, I'm Jacqueline Montes, and this is the breakdown of the Poisonwood Bible by Barbara Kingsolver. Summary: Nathan Price, a Baptist minister, brings his wife and 4 daughters into the Congo to spread the word of God in 1959. It is narrated from the point of view of the mother and 4 daughters, who each have a unique perspective on the situation. They all believe they are superior than the village of Kalonga because of who they are and their faith. The reality of them not being as superior hits them when Nathan's attempts to convert the villagers fail. Nathan is stubborn and set on his mission despite backlash from villagers and refuses to let his family evacuate after Belgium's independence and warning of danger. Erlina lies in bed for weeks and after decides she is a new woman who will stand up for herself and her daughters and will no longer be submissive to Nathan. She attempts to find a way to escape out of Africa. Meanwhile, Leah is more admiring of her school teacher than her father. Ada is focused on language, reading, and observing as always. Rachel pretends to be engaged, and Ruth is sick with malaria. A famine hits Kalanga, and the people organize a big hunt, which Leah will be a part of. Since they aren't cool with women doing hunting, people are mad and superstitious, someone even leaving poisonous snakes, first by Anatel, then by Ruth, who is killed by one. Due to this, Erlina starts sleeping with her daughters, but then Leah gets malaria and can't go on. They all make it out, being successful in life. Leah marries her school teacher in the Congo. Erlina is ridden with guilt because of what happened with Ruth. The end is narrated by Ruth May, who forgives her mother. Characters: Nathan Price, an evangelical Baptist preacher who takes his family into the Belgian Congo in 1959 to do his missionary work. Experiences of war made him even more God-obsessed, and he will do anything for his mission, even if it hurts his family. Erlina Price, Nathan's wife. She used to be full of life, but after being married with Nathan for so long, she is drained of her will and submissive to him. The only thing that breaks that is her need to protect her children from the dangers of the Congo. Rachel Price, the oldest daughter. She is your typical American teen, shallow, selfish, and focused on having fun. She gets her way by using her charm and good looks. Leah Price, one of the Price twins. At first she worships her father, but later learns to think for herself, especially after meeting Anatel. She is the one most interested and revolved around political, economic, and racial injustices occurring in the Congo. Adele Price, one of the Price twins. She was born with a brain disorder and makes her limp and move slowly. She chooses to be mute, although she can speak. She is highly intelligent and likes to read both forward and backward. Because of her disability, she is cynical and struggles with accepting herself. Ruth May Price, the youngest daughter. She is the innocent one and tries to keep up with everyone to prove herself. Her innocence moves and inspires her family and villagers. Setting: the Congo, circa 1960, is the opposite of what the girls are accustomed to, with danger and lack of hygiene. They eventually adapt. Is personified as a bride or a princess and described as feminine, oppressed, and immoral. The history of it. 1959, Belgium begins to lose control over events in the Congo following serious nationalist riots in Leopoldville. 1960, Congo becomes independent with Patrice Lumumba as prime minister and Joseph something as president. Belgian troops sit in ostensibly to protect Belgian citizens and mining interests. UN Security Council votes to send in troops to help establish order, but the troops are not allowed to intervene in internal affairs. Cruel dictator takes over for the next 30 years. One of the first themes is religion. A major theme is religion, specifically pantheism, being presented as the best. Religion is first introduced by Brother Fowles, and pantheism continues to be shown aggressively by Nathan. He believes it to be superior to all others. It is a force that drives his actions not only to move to the Congo, but everything else, and ends up affecting the whole family. By the end of the novel, all the characters, even Ada, who seemed the most resistant, adopts a form of pantheism. Another theme is the oppression of women and their roles in society. Throughout the novel, the woman's place in society is shown strongly by Nathan. He believes they should marry and serve men, and that's it. Even in a new culture, they are in women dress and act a certain way in order to meet society's needs. This impacts Erlina to be more submissive and the girls to grow into and find their place in this world. The novel ends with them breaking out of that cycle and being successful. In the novel, the Price family comes face to face with mortality throughout a lot of the novel. It comes about when the kids get malaria, and when one of their own daughters, Ruth May, dies from a poisonous snake bite. They also see it in their new African society as they face ant invasions, famine, etc. This impacts the characters by causing them to adapt, deal with grief, guilt, and blame. By the end of the novel, Erlina overcomes the impact of mortality by having Ruth forgive her. Literature device detail. Okay, such as ivory plastic hand mirror with powdered wig, ladies on the back. Okay. Here details were used to help the reader visualize the story as well as emphasize the vanity of the character. The author's purpose was to highlight a theme of jealousy and vanity. Alright. Another one is imagery. Now that every turn in the weather whistles an ache through my bones, I stir in bed and the memories rise out of me like a buzz of flies from a carcass. Imagery is used to describe the character's feelings and actions more vividly. The author's purpose was to make the novel more interesting and emphasize the themes. Okay. Another one is foreshadowing. For there is a tower there, 75 feet high, filled with ashes, and there they push a man guilty of sacrilege or notorious for other crimes to destruction. The author used this device to create a sense of irony and justice. She did this by using the device to draw a connection with Nathan and the things he preached about. So, questions. How do gender roles appear in the novel? It shows women as inferior to men, and when that logic is defied, it ends badly. Do you agree with the statement, one has only a life for their own? And why? I do. I think everyone is selfish in nature, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. We can only live for ourselves. How would you feel if you had to pick up and move to a less developed country? I wouldn't be thrilled, but I'm quick to adapt and would try to succeed nonetheless. How does the mindset of the Lord notices righteousness and rewards it affect everyone? It causes a lot of unnecessary guilt, blame, and burden. Favorite quotes. Okay, first one. One has only a life for their own. I like this quote because it's true. It's human nature to be selfish as well as have a need to please others. It's important to remember that we should live for ourselves because that's all we really have. Number 2, when I finally got up with sharp grains embedded in my knees, I found to my surprise that I no longer believed in God. This quote I really agree with because I used to blindly believe in God because that's what I was taught. As I grew up, I learned to think for myself and now reject those views. The death of something living is the price of our own survival. I like this one because it's dramatic and makes you think about how everything is taken for granted and everything comes at a price. Okay. For there is a tower there, 75 feet high, filled with ashes, and there they push a man guilty of sacrilege or notorious for other crimes of destruction. It's a good quote because it's part of the Bible Nathan preached, and yet he died in similar circumstances. So that's why I like that one. Alright, discoveries. In 1962, King Salvar's father chose to practice medicine in Central Africa. This is where she gained experience in life as a minority and got inspiration for the novel. Okay, final analysis. I thought the book was okay. I usually like books about living in difficult situations, but it just wasn't very interesting for me. I did like the imagery, but as a whole, the text didn't pull me in or make me want to read more.